And here's their series, and we've gone to 3 sources. The NFL has it 14-14. Detroit has the Lions up by 2, and Pittsburgh has the Pirates or the Steelers as they became up by 2. You decide who leads in the series. They did all agree on 1 tie. And we're set to go. Lions will kick it off as the Steelers won the toss, and Stefan Logan, the speedy 5'10" return man, is at the 1-yard line. Logan waiting for the kickoff from veteran Jason Hanson, and we're underway at Forbes Field. Received at the 6. Logan threw a tackle at the 20, and the Lions, who had trouble stopping kick returns against the Bears last Sunday. Steelers open from their 23. Empty backfield with Mendenhall joining 2 wide receivers, and here's a little bubble screen to Hines Ward, and Ward powers his way through a couple of tacklers to the 29, a gain of 6. 5 on first down. Mendenhall, the tailback behind Roethlisberger. First throw by Ben. Over the middle, incomplete, and no flag intended for Heath Miller, who had a big night against San Diego. 3rd and 5, and Mewelde Moore has become a solid 3rd down back for Pittsburgh. Is in with Roethlisberger, and the quick throw is complete and then dropped by Limas Sweed. He had it for a moment, and it was ripped away. Good defense by the Lions. Eric King, their nickel.
Yeah, this ball thrown just behind Limas Sweed on the slant route as he gets inside Henry, but still a catchable ball, and this is something that has plagued Sweed, is drop passes. We'll keep an eye on that today for Sweed as he was in on the first 3rd down situation.
Left-footed kicker Daniel Sepulveda, and Dennis Northcutt will let that ball bounce in front of him, and it takes a big Pittsburgh roll. Northcutt fields and then has to almost fumble it away, able to fall back on his own miscue at the 22-yard line with Aaron Fox right there for Pittsburgh. 51 yards on the punt.
It looked like the ball might have come out on Northcutt. He was quick to get back on top of it, but you can see Bailey and Dizon, a couple of, or rather that's Kieron Fox, a couple of real young linebackers making contributions on special teams.
So the veteran Dante Culpepper, he's 32, his 11th year from Central Florida, and the Viking star. Scrambling, hit from behind and fumbles, and guess who? James Harrison makes his presence immediately as he forces the fumble, and fortunately for Lions fans, Culpepper able to scoop it up and cover.
Number 92 right there is coming on the blitz and beating a tight end. That's the type of matchup Harrison will take all day long. Will Heller, backup tight end, trying to pass block, one of the best in the business, number 92.
And he's got that tomahawk chop down pat as he comes around the blind side. That's his 4th forced fumble already this year. He led the league last season with 7. 2nd and long. Kevin Smith, the running back who had trouble buying yardage against the Bears, and the loss in Chicago last weekend gets a couple there. On 3rd and 11, Culpepper knows the Steelers will be coming. And he has to scamper out of the pocket looking downfield. He's a good runner. 30, he's going to get a first down and more. 40, still going, and all the way to the 45 of the Steelers. Well, he lost 30 and picked up some seconds in speed.
We told you his knee was healthy, didn't we? Boy, he showed it that time as he sees as he gets out of the pocket, getting away from 92 Harrison. Now he's pointing out blockers and looking for a place to slide. Perfect run. What a huge play for the Lions and Culpepper.
32-yard scramble by Culpepper, and a first down marked at the 47 on the slide. He fumbles the snap and falls on it. 49-yard line, a loss of a couple. Kevin Smith, the solo back. There's Johnson to the far right. Smith gets back to the original line of scrimmage for 3rd and 10, and James Harrison and Brett Kiesel collaborate on the tackle. On 3rd down, Culpepper on the screen. A flag is down. This one may come back, and it's a shame because that would have been a Lion first down to Maurice Morris, the former Seattle Seahawk. And Harrison says, no, it's back the other way. Ed Hockley is our referee today.
Really a well designed and executed screen pass.
Oh, no foul.
Ultimate first down.
And so the Lions do indeed pick up another 3rd and long, the second on their opening drive.
Yeah, they're going to call. They were trying to call holding, but what happened is James Harrison was just tossed to the ground, and there was no holding. We looked for all 5 guys to get the flag, but good job of refereeing, getting together and making the right call. No holding.
16 yards on the play. First down at the Pittsburgh 32. Kevin Smith, who, like Culpepper, played at Central Florida at tailback. Jerome Felton is the fullback, and here comes Smith up the middle. Lions are determined to be able to run the ball. They couldn't against the Bears, and they're going to be patient, according to young head coach Jim Schwartz. Try to, even though they may get stuffed early, they're going to stay with the plan.
And Kevin Smith knows he may get stuffed early. He told us that he knows he's going to hit his head on the wall, but he's still going to be looking for those creases. Had a miserable afternoon last week against the Bears and not starting off all that hot. But again, it goes back to that word persistence. Stay with the running game and find that crease.
Second down and 9. The 2 Johnsons. Brian Johnson to the left, Calvin Johnson to the right. Back to Smith. And he burrows for a couple, 3. As James Ferrier, who leads the Steelers in tackles, comes up with a stop. A couple of Pro Bowls for Ferrier out of the University of Virginia, including last year.
Key 3rd down coming up for the Lions. They struggled first couple of first downs. A fumble on a sack and then a fumble on a snap by Culpepper. But he's got them near the red zone now.
To elaborate on that graphic, Pittsburgh has outscored their opponents 31-0 in the opening quarter this year. 3rd and 5. The blitz up the middle. Picked up. Throw is incomplete. A little wide. Intended for rookie Brandon Pettigrew, the tight end.
Really good coverage on the play on Pettigrew. Pettigrew, the rookie first-round pick out of Oklahoma State. They really like his talent and his potential, but that time he just couldn't shake the tight coverage of the Steelers.
Out comes the veteran Jason Hanson, 18 years in the league. The Lions' #1 scorer, 17 straight years. No one's ever done that. Out of Washington State, and he's especially effective from long range. This one will be 46 yards, 46. He leads the league in history with 50+. And this one is good. With the Lions facing 3rd down and 5, if this is against the Steelers and it's prior to the kick, well, here's Ed Hockley. He'll tell you.
They may have to bring out the chains to measure if it's going to be enough for the first down.
Offside, defense number 42.
It is against the Steelers
That
offside,
penalty is
and it's
The field goal is
declined
good.
by the Lions. Hanson from 46, the payoff on the field goal, but it was the legs of Dante Culpepper, that 32-yard scramble on 3rd and long from deep in his own end that was the key to that drive, and a 3-0 lead. But still puzzling that the Lions didn't even ask for the measurement when the field goal created an offside against Pittsburgh. Jason Hanson to Stephon Logan, who played in the Canadian Football League a year ago with the BC Lions, and he's toppled out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. Rare geographical fact, you go south to go to Canada when you take that bridge from downtown Detroit over to Windsor. 3-0 Lions as we're underway here. 8:59 left in the opening quarter here in Detroit. Roethlisberger, the quick hitch out from the flat, and the breaking the tackles is Santonio Holmes, and Holmes has his first big catch in game. Quite an interesting fact that Hines Ward, Santonio Holmes, 2 MVPs in the Super Bowl lined up in the same play.
And this is why this type of ability to break the tackle of William James and get down the field is why also Santonio Holmes was drafted #1 out of Ohio State a few years back.
Solid gain on first down, and a first down at the 36-yard line. 14 on the play. Roethlisberger, screen. Mendenhall, former University of Illinois star, barrels his way for 9 out to the 45-yard line into the arms of Marquand Manuel.
We have a Steeler down on the field. That is number 79, Trey Essex, the right guard.
With the injury to Trey Essex, He's being replaced by number 64, Doug Legursky, Bronco Legursky, first-year man out of Marshall. And the handoff is to Mendenhall, breaking into the clear inside the 40 to the 30 and out of bounds at the 28. Finally pushed out by Marquand Manuel. That's the kind of hole that Mendenhall got against the Chargers last Sunday.
Yeah, all he needs is a crease here as he hits off the left side. Good block that time by the center, Hartwig. And then the quickness to get to that second level and the speed, blocking downfield by his wide receiver Holmes. And that's the best running play so far for the Steelers this afternoon.
27 yards. Contact after, or yards after contact, and Mendenhall didn't have a lot of contact there. Quick throw by Roethlisberger is misdirected as the receiver Holmes had headed toward the end zone. 2nd and 10. Roethlisberger and the Steelers inside the 30 of Detroit. Here's the roll and the long throw across, wide open at the 12. Hines Ward, and Ward, looking for his first touchdown of the year, is stuffed at the 7-yard line. 1st and goal, Pittsburgh. And look at the yellow towels of Pittsburgh.
Great route by Hines Ward as he runs the deep post corner route. There's the post move, then back to the corner. And he just turns Will James all the way around. Now he's going to punish him as he tries to get into the end zone. But the rollout fake by Roethlisberger bought him enough time for Hines to make all those moves in the secondary.
12th year, 12 great years in Pittsburgh out of the University of Georgia. 21 on the play, so Mendenhall 27 and then 21 on the pass. And here's the handoff going to Mendenhall, and he won't be touched. Touchdown! That is way too easy, and the Steeler fans celebrate in Detroit.
Some hostile environment, Huz. It just doesn't get any easier than this if you have this type of speed. As soon as Anthony Henry committed, Mendenhall went right around him and walks into the corner of the end zone.
The Steelers have been superb in the red zone. They were 5 for 5 touchdowns in the red zone against the Chargers, and they connect the first chance today as the extra point added by Jeff Reed, and Pittsburgh takes the lead here. Reed pounds the kickoff down toward Derek Williams, and Williams from Penn State, the rookie. That's a good-looking return out across the 35-yard line. Lions trail 7-3 in the opening quarter after the kickoff return. Culpepper from the 36, Kevin Smith, gets out of a tackle in the backfield and makes something out of what didn't look to be a well-organized play about 8 yards before Lawrence Timmons made the tackle.
You know, Dick, you go back last time when the Lions had the ball and they decided to go for the field goal. It was 4th down and 5.5 or so, and with the offside penalty that was refused, I don't have a problem with them going for the field goal, but at least bring the chains out and measure, see what you needed on 4th down. Remember, Culpepper's a huge quarterback. He could pick up a lot of yards on the quarterback's knee.
Yeah, on a 4th and 1, maybe flirt with a touchdown instead of the 3. Here's the quick toss out to Calvin Johnson, and he's topples hard across the 45-yard line. It'll be close to a 1st down. As Johnson paying for his first catch is Ike Taylor, one of the better cover corners in the league, and he loves to take on the best of the opposition.
He is the definition of shutdown corner because he takes the best receiver each week. And he told us yesterday that Calvin Johnson is right up there as far as the best receivers in the league are concerned. Johnson kind of limping as he comes out of that huddle. He hurt his thigh last week against the Bears.
Taylor set him up, and Harrison pounded Johnson to the turf. Handoff to Kevin Smith, and he has the 1st down out to the 48-yard line, and 1st down Lions at their 49. Culpepper deep over the middle, complete to Bryant Johnson, and Johnson with another Lions 1st down at the 34-yard line in front of Ike Taylor.
Now, if you give Dante Culpepper time to throw as he gets on this play, he's going to be able to find both Johnson receivers in the secondary. The Steelers playing that soft zone that time as Ike Taylor had the coverage, and over the top was Ryan Clark, but that's where the Steelers are vulnerable in the secondary, especially with Polamalu out of the game.
Brian Johnson coming to Detroit from San Francisco as an unrestricted free agent. Played at Penn State from the 34. Culpepper over the middle and wide open at the 20. The 10 is Jerome Felton, and Felton has first and goal for the Lions, and it's no wonder that the Steelers surprised on that play. Felton, rarely thrown to, only his 5th catch of the year.
And 14th on his career. 45's the fullback here. He sneaks out of the backfield and right between the linebackers Woodley and Ferrier, and a huge play inside the 10-yard line. But again, Culpepper had time to throw for Felton to sneak through the coverage.
Culpepper has looked very good in this opening quarter, hasn't he? First and goal at the Steelers 7. Fake to Smith. Culpepper in trouble, and he's going to throw that one away, and he got it past the 10. It's near the line of scrimmage, but not to the line of scrimmage, as Harrison, boy, what a nemesis he is. And look at Calvin Johnson. He's walking as if he's not all of 100%, and they're maybe going to call grounding here. It's a late flag, and Johnson not at full speed, obviously, as he tried to help out his quarterback.
They're saying that did not get the ball far enough.
Intentional
line of scrimmage, so it is intentional grounding.
The ball landed short of the line of scrimmage.
It was.
And there was no receiver
Very
in the area
intentional.
of the pass.
And a heck of a
Ball
smart
replaces
decision.
the spot of the foul, which is more than 10 yards, and a loss of down. Brings up second down.
So the loss of down goes with a penalty for intentional grounding at the 23-yard line.
You can see that Calvin Johnson is on the sideline struggling, and he's wearing thigh pads this week. He did not wear thigh pads last week against the Bears. He hurt his thigh, and it appears that he has a problem with his knee this time on the same right leg.
Hey, wait for the whistle.
So this is second and goal at the 23. The call by Hockley was that Culpepper had not left the pocket, so that exacerbated the situation. Even at that, he didn't get the ball. Well, if 3 yards back of the line of scrimmage is near, then that's the definition. The draw play to Smith, and he's stuffed. Didn't have a chance. Another loss on the last play, the running play. So third and goal from just inside the 28-yard line. Lowell Morris in the backfield now with Culpepper. Here comes the pressure. Culpepper fires down the middle and almost intercepted. Diving try by Ryan Clark.
And real good coverage by Kewan Ratliff. He's one of the 3 guys that at different situations today is taking the place of Troy Polamalu, along with Tyrone Carter, the starter at strong safety, and Deshae Townsend. That time, number 31 Ratliff was all over Northcutt.
And here comes Jason Hanson. He has missed just 1 field goal in the last 23 games, 34 the last 35. This like the first one from 46 away. And he draws it through, gets it inside the right upright, and another flag, as there was on his first field goal, but that would have
5-yard penalty. Repeat fourth down.
They will refuse this and take the points, no question.
a little miscommunication there as to against whom the penalty was called. The penalty
Good. The penalty is declined.
A worrisome sight for Lion fans as Calvin Johnson testing out what appears to be a sore knee. As we look at that last drive by the Lions, they were down to the 7-yard line, but the penalty and failure to run the ball led to another 46-yard field goal by Hanson, who kicks it again to Stefan Logan, who after 3 years out of high school migrated up to South Dakota to play for the Coyotes. And not much of a howl on that return to the 25-yard line. And a little extracurricular afterwards. Tackle made on the play by Copeland Bryan. Larry Foote.
This is number 49, Zach Follett, just activated for the special teams specifically. The former Cal Bear mixing it up with another linebacker.
Zach Follett just activated off the practice squad this week. He had a great summer. He's a hitter, and in fact at University of California, his career set a Pac-10 record with 13 forced fumbles. And off to Mendenhall. And this time, the Lions smother the young running back, whose brother joined him in the backfield of the Illini. Brother Walter played 3 years behind his kid brother Richard, and finally when Mendenhall left to go to the professional ranks after his junior year, then his brother Walter matriculated at Illinois State. There's Willie Parker watching Mendenhall as Parker with that turf toe out of uniform again today. Seeing with the holes I'm seeing Mendenhall. I got to get better.
That'll get him better in a hurry. Are you kidding?
2nd and 10 back to Mendenhall. Runs hard to the 31-yard line where it'll be 3rd and a long 4. Marquand Manuel came up to support Julian Peterson.
The Steelers getting back to running the ball with Mendenhall after the success that they've had. Last drive, Mendenhall got the big 27-yarder and then walked into the end zone. Key 3rd down here for Lion fans and this defense.
3rd and a long 4. That speedster, the rookie from Ole Miss, Mike Wallace, far out to the left. And Roethlisberger throws over the middle, and open is Holmes, breaking tackles and dives forward for the first down at the 37-yard line. Got 15 seconds left here in the opening quarter, and first down. Mendenhall back in, plows his way forward to the 42, and a gain of 6 on first down. Ready for the second quarter. The Lions accomplishing something that Chicago, Cincinnati, and San Diego did not, and that is score in the opening quarter against the Steeler defense. And look at the yardage, 106 yards, as Culpepper able to move the Detroit Lions offense, but settling for 2 Hanson 46-yard field goals. 2nd and 4 as the Steelers line up at their own 42. Mendenhall showing you why he was the #1 pick a year ago. Roethlisberger. This fan has plenty of time, dumps it off to Mendenhall. He's got a first down out to the 50-yard line. Larry Foote, the former Steeler, making the tackle, and Foote saying that he just hoped he doesn't get knocked around too much. He's afraid that if he doesn't have all his faculties, just by habit, he'll go to the Steeler sideline.
Yeah, he's really done a great job coming over here. As far as leadership and the way he acts in the locker room and off the field, just an outstanding young man.
Played his college ball in Ann Arbor at the University of Michigan. He's one of the league's better talkers. Roethlisberger fumbles the ball as he was trying to hand off to Mendenhall. He slipped and fell in the scramble for the loose ball at the 48-yard line. And the Steelers, fortunately, able to scrape it back into their possession. Wow, that had disaster spelled all over it.
Well, it looked like Roethlisberger had his foot stepped on by his center, Justin Hartwig. And then it's anybody's guess as to who gets this ball at the bottom of the pile. Certainly looked like a lot of blue jerseys around it as he's reverse pivoting, trying to put the ball on the hip of the running back there, Mendenhall.
How did the Lions not get that? They had
no
4
idea.
Blue jerseys around the ball, and Mendenhall was able to dive back and take it away from him. And Jason Hunter is the injured Lion. We'll take a break. Second quarter in Detroit. Defensive end Jason Hunter receiving training attention. Dwayne White and Sammy Hill, 2 defensive linemen, are not suited up for the Lions, and now Hunter, a replacement, injured. Second down and 11 for Big Ben out of the shotgun. Here's the screen off to Noelvi Moore, and Moore dodging Lions into Detroit territory to the 45-yard line. William James, good low hit, and that'll bring up 3rd and 4 for Pittsburgh.
This is one of those quarterback nightmares. Go back to the previous play and you'll see the right foot here of Ben Roethlisberger. The center Justin Hartwig steps right on his toe, and that's a mistake by Big Ben. Once you're down, you might as well just peel that football and eat it.
So 3rd and 4, and Roethlisberger into the shotgun, the former Miami of Ohio star. Very proud of his association in the MAC conference. Dumps it down the middle. It's intercepted by the Lions. Harry King. King, the nickel, diving in front of the intended receiver, and there's the first turnover and a foul on the play. A flag is thrown right at the feet of Roethlisberger, and this may stay in the possession of the Steelers. Hockley, the referee, tossed the yellow flag. And let's hope that that's not anything serious for
Passer, a hit to the quarterback knees. 15-yard penalty results in a first
obviously
down.
the microphone of Hochuli not operative on our television sound, but it was low around the knees.
Julian Peterson's going to get flagged for it. Number 59 coming off the corner here. And you can't even breathe on quarterbacks anymore. Peterson and then up the middle. It looked like Landon Cohen perhaps as Ben is twisted to the ground. That nullifies the interception, and that's exactly the type of play. Back to back now. The Lions do not recover a fumble, and then they have an interception taken away on this roughing the passer. It's Cohen, number 98. It appeared that Trey Essex, the right guard, is back in the game. Blocked Cohen into Roethlisberger, but that's now how Ed Hochuli saw it. He threw the flag.
So Cohen, the second-year defensive tackle from Ohio University, ticketed for a big penalty, not only the 15 yards forward to the 31-yard line for Pittsburgh, but the loss of the turnover, Eric King's diving interception.
And then on the big jumbo board, they've got a big picture of our referee Ed Hochuli, and that brings out the boos from the Lion fans.
He's accustomed to that.
Especially in San Diego.
Yeah. Mendenhall, the running back on first down. He gets the rock and drives down to the 25-yard line and a gain of 6. Roethlisberger throwing deep to the sidelines, incomplete to Santonio Holmes, a diving attempt.
Yeah, you don't see Ben get out of rhythm very often. That time, as he was searching for Holmes all the way across the field, the ball kind of gets out of spiral here, and it dies on him. And here is Hines Ward. And of course, he's a wide receiver. He's always open.
Well, they passed him up. Anthony Henry, the cornerback, no one came over to cover. So 3rd down and 4, 10th play of the drive, including the big 15-yard penalty for roughing the passer. Here comes the blitz. The quick throw is complete to Holmes. 1st down and more to the 13 before Louis Delmas, the rookie from Western Michigan, can make the stop.
Great job of getting inside on the slant adjustment here. Just one step up the field and then inside the defensive back, Anthony Henry. But Roethlisberger, he's seen that blitz a million times. So has Santonio Holmes. That's communication between a quarterback and a wide receiver. Beautifully done.
Holmes, who came into the game with 19 catches and a touchdown. 1st down at the 14. Heath Miller, the tight end, in motion. Back to Mendenhall, runs behind Miller's block, fights through another tackle, and he's down to the 5-yard line. Just a yard shy of another 1st down. Marquand Manuel saved the touchdown.
Yeah, you get the feeling now that the Steelers, getting those 2 breaks, getting the fumble back and the interception back, are back in rhythm.
Mendenhall's still in rhythm from that San Diego game. 60 yards rushing already and a touchdown for him. 26 of the yards on this drive. 1st and goal with a 7-6 lead. Mendenhall going for another touchdown and walk it in. Richard, flag is down. On the corner, could have been a hold on the edge that freed up Mendenhall for that easy score.
Holding offense, number 89. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Tight end Matt Spaeth guilty of the penalty.
And Spaeth is saying, what, who, me? It could have been the other tight end, Heath Miller. They're both right here and here. Miller coming to the outside. Yeah, Spaeth got him. Spaeth pulled down number 94. That's Copeland Bryan. That was an easy call. He thought he got away with it. He was pleading his case to the sideline, that's for sure.
So 2nd down, 11 after the penalty. Don't know where Hines Ward is. No, it's to Miller, a tight end screen. 5, touchdown Pittsburgh. And the Steeler fans from around the country, how well they support Pittsburgh. Many in buses have come here to the Motor City to experience the Steelers on the road.
Just too many weapons for the Lions to keep track of when you've got Hines Ward in the red zone and Santonio Holmes. Then you've got Heath Miller. Boy, did he know where the goal line was. As soon as he caught that ball, he went straight ahead and scored.
Extra point try by Jeff Reed. Heath Miller with his third touchdown of the year. And the Steelers have a 14-6 lead. For fans in Detroit and around the state of Michigan, those Tigers look mighty painfully lonely, don't they? They were hopeful of being thick into the playoffs and fell apart in the final weeks of the season, and Minnesota advances into the first round. Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers survive a drive that shouldn't have resulted in a touchdown. The Lions had a chance to recover a fumble. They were all around the ball, but Mendenhall was able to take it away from them. And then the interception by Eric King negated by the 15-yard roughing the passer penalty.
And Roethlisberger survived what looked like potentially could have been a serious knee injury. But he shook it off, as he shakes off so many injuries. So tough, so strong, and so good.
Derek Williams at the other end. The 30, and a nice move there, and only because he was caught from behind was he denied a possible long gainer. Saving a touchdown was Patrick Bailey. Here's Kevin Smith getting out to the 39-yard line on first down.
First two possessions of the ball game for the Lions, they were backed up, not as bad as it's been this year for them, starting in their own end of the field. But the questionable decision not to bring the chains out and take the field goal, they come back to bite them.
Smith tried to change direction and ran right into Aaron Smith, the veteran defensive end from Northern Colorado, one of the great quipsters in the National Football League. And he's just been silent and steady, and all he's done in his career is logged 43 sacks, 7 forced fumbles, an interception, a Pro Bowler back in 2004. Just one of those guys that makes you good. Not spectacular, but just makes you a good team.
And he's a defensive end lining right up over the center this time. Talk about versatility.
Well, that's here the Steelers. Who's coming after you? 3rd and 9. Culpepper dumps it off incomplete. He had to get rid of it to Kevin Smith. No chance. He was well covered, was Smith, by James Ferrier, but the pressure was coming hard on Culpepper. Reese Morris was the intended receiver.
And of course, Dick LeBeau bringing all types of pressure, the inventor of so many different types of blitzes.
Former Detroit Lion, 14 years, 62 career interceptions, the all-time Detroit leader. 171 consecutive games. No cornerback in history has accomplished that. Stephon Logan with a flag down, 15, 25, and into the thick of some blue tacklers, and we'll check on the penalty. Flag thrown back at the line of scrimmage.
Holding by the receiving team, number 54, during the kick. A 10-yard penalty is enforced where the kick was caught. Pittsburgh keeps the ball, first down.
So that will back the Steelers deep into their own end, back inside the 15-yard line. Again, the NFL cooperating in the breast cancer awareness program, and many of the players and fans with their pink to support the cause. Annual and regular examinations, saving lives. Weldy Moore in the backfield as Pittsburgh starts inside their 10, and it's Moore straight ahead out to the 9-yard line. 2nd and 9, and a spread formation here. 5 receivers, and Roethlisberger signaling a change of play, perhaps. Looking more and more like Peyton Manning, isn't he? Oh, wide open is Holmes, and he's out to the 29-yard line before he's brought down by Copeland Bryan trailing the play.
And looking like Manning in the pocket too. Watch as he pump fakes. What that does is it moves the safeties and it freezes defensive backs. And that's why Santonio Holmes gets so wide open. He pump faked to Mewelde Moore out of the backfield, and that got William James and the linebacker DeAndre Levy to go over there. That opened up Holmes for the big gain.
Roethlisberger enters the game leading the NFL with 73% completion.
That's good.
He's going for a deep one. He's got a man wide open, incomplete. Mike Wallace, the speedy rookie from Ole Miss. They've been trying to set up that play and take advantage of this kid's 4.28 speed, and a flag down deep in the Detroit secondary.
They're going to get him for delay a game because he kicked the ball off the field after he dropped it.
There's a rookie error, and Mike Tomlin, that'll be some schooling to do on Monday.
After the play was over, delay of game defense for kicking the ball after the ball was down. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Oh, against the Lions, not against the
That's a
Steelers.
dead ball foul with second down.
William James.
So only one mistake, but it's a big one by Mike Wallace. He dropped a perfect pass from Ben Roethlisberger. Behind the secondary, he's got James beat. Ball was right on target and right through his pink hands.
Now Hochuli has corrected the call. It is against Wallace. As you will see, he'll go back and kick the ball.
Yeah, that's what I saw to begin with. And Ed Hochuli did correct himself for the fans on the PA. I must have been talking because we didn't hear the correction.
So
I didn't need to be corrected, Dick, did I?
You had it all the way. In fact, you threw the handkerchief on it. Second down and 15.
I've had too many receivers drop those touchdown passes, I guess.
Tear off the scab. There's a little inside handoff on the draw. And Mewelde Moore, they're looking for him as a pass receiver. And they hand it off and pick up the first down. Larry Foote, the tackler. Was interesting, wasn't it, what Big Ben said about, here's another injury. Eric King of the Lions. Is to finish that thought, Roethlisberger said, Mewelde Moore isn't just a good third down back. He is a great third down back. We have what New England has enjoyed for the last 10 years in Kevin Falk.
This is Trey Essex, number 78, and this is bad news for defensive back as that big guy just rolls Eric King right over backwards.
Downtown Detroit, painted in the black and gold of Pittsburgh. There's Richard Mendenhall on the sidelines. Is he just being arrested, or is he next? As Mewelde Moore stays with Roethlisberger, 3rd and 8, the throw out of the backfield. Oh, it's intercepted, and this one going to go for a score. William James, touchdown Detroit, and no flags are down. Only his 7th career interception, and James takes it to the house.
And just what Jim Schwartz and the Lions and these fans needed, another chance. James, who was beaten by Mike Wallace on the play that Wallace dropped the ball, comes back and picks off Ben and takes it to the house. Ben can smile about it. He knows he threw that ball a little bit late, but give James a lot of credit for making the catch and taking it in.
Took a terrific break on the ball, didn't he? James, 38 yards for the score. Hansen will go for 1. And with just under 7 minutes left in this opening half, the Lions claw their way back within 1. The turnover this time accomplished after 2 opportunities on the last Steeler possession went awry.
Ben was trying to get the ball to number 17, and that is Mike Wallace, the speedster, and James just read it all the way. He saw the drop of the quarterback, the ball in the air, and Roethlisberger the whole way looking to the right, just threw it a little bit late to the inside, and see you later. We got ourselves a ball game.
Great timing by the cornerback James. Played his college ball here in the Midwest at Western Illinois. Played a couple of years, 5 years with the New York Giants. He was Will Peterson then. Philadelphia 2 years, Jacksonville last year. coming over to Detroit. Many of the personnel changes of the Lions as an unrestricted free agent.
And now how you go back and how big is that drop pass of Mike Wallace when he was behind James for an apparent touchdown, and then the 5-yard delay of game penalty for kicking the football on Wallace, and then a pass thrown just behind Wallace is taken in for a touchdown by Detroit. What a turnaround.
Mike Tomlin saying high praise about Mike Wallace is that most rookies have that roller coaster up and down, but this young man, Wallace, has done nothing but go straight up. Well, a little hiccup here in Detroit today. Stefan Logan back. Hanson's boot into his arms at the 1. Only 5'6" is Logan, and look at the speed to get around the corner. 40, and finally dragged down shy of midfield. Logan with a solid return, finally tackled by Aaron Brown.
Now Stefan Logan with great speed there. Phil Buchanan was the contained man. Well, Logan went right around Phil Buchanan.
47-yard return, and the good news is Rashard Mendenhall for Pittsburgh back into the game, and he takes a handoff, draw type action, and able to fight his way for about 4 to the 48-yard line. Julian Peterson back home in Michigan after a great career at Michigan State. Came to the Lions in the offseason and to trade for tackle Corey Redding.
And Peterson is very valuable to this Lion defense because he can play outside linebacker, but it's big enough to play defensive end at times. And we'll see him in both situations. In fact, he's a defensive end right now in this passing situation for the Steelers.
Big Ben over the middle, and wide open is his tight end Miller. And Heath Miller has a first down at the 38-yard line. From Swords Creek, Virginia, where he played high school quarterback, Heath Miller.
You know, Dick, sometimes as a quarterback, you give the rookie a couple of looks, and then you just don't look anymore. You look for your old reliables. Heath Miller being a huge reliable over the middle for number 7.
He won the Mackey Award top tight end. And then Matt Spaeth, his backup, won the Mackey Award 2 years later in 2006. Mendenhall high-stepping his way down to the 35, make it the 36-yard line. Cliff Averill with a tackle. Bruce Arians calling the shots offensively for the Steelers.
I talked to him earlier in the week about Mewelde Moore, the reliable third down back, and he said that he would trust Moore with his paycheck. That's high praise.
He said he is some special cat. Second down 9. Roethlisberger cranks it into the right flat, complete again to Miller, and Miller breaks a couple of tackles as he battles for the first down yardage.
He's shredding tacklers. There's a trail of Honolulu blue and silver in his wake after the catch, and if it wasn't for the sidelines, he might have picked out a few more Lions to knock over. There's 1, there's 2, and finally 3 in the sidelines. Get them down, get them out, not down.
And a first down in the process for Miller and the Steelers to the Lions 26. Pittsburgh leading by 1 with 4.5 minutes to go in this first half. Roethlisberger wide open in the flat, Miller again. Or just a pitch and catch. Big Ben to his favorite guy, Heath Miller. Delmas and Pearson, 2 safeties, bump him out of bounds, but it's right at the sticks again.
Well, he's playing as a wide receiver on this play. He's flanked outside of Hines Ward. That's the type of mismatch you want out there. You get him on a safety. Plays like a wide receiver in space.
A little lopsided, isn't it?
Just a tad.
117 to 1 in yards this second quarter. Only the interception touchdown by William James keeping the Lions close. Second and inches. So Roethlisberger, a 3 down, going for the end zone. It's complete to Hines Ward, and he's in for the score. His first touchdown of the year. Well, there's plenty of black and gold jerseys up there to treat with that pigskin.
And he overthrew somebody wearing his jersey. Boy, the catch. And then the effort going over the top, stretching out, breaking the plane, touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Is that a surprise, huh? Hines Ward with the extra effort. What a player he is. In his 12 great years in Pittsburgh, how can you not like Hines Ward, even as he punishes the enemy? Got to admire what he brings to this game. Extra point by Reed, and it's 21-13 Pittsburgh, and the smiles are broad on the Steelers sideline.
That's his first touchdown catch of the year, 73rd of his career, and haven't all of them been like that, where he is just selling out? Again, it's Roethlisberger going back to his reliables. Heath Miller caught 3 passes on that drive, and the touchdown pass to number 86.
Saw Troy Polamalu sharing the happiness of Ward, the touchdown maker, and for Mike Tomlin, tough for him to smile, the coach, but inside he must be at the success of his team in the red zone. The last 8 times Pittsburgh has driven inside the opponent's 20-yard line, 8 times they've scored touchdowns.
And really no surprise that after the interception that the Steelers would panic. Not with Roethlisberger, not with this offense, not with players like Heath Miller and Hines Ward to throw the ball to. Roethlisberger made a mistake, and he just forgot about it, went back to work, got his team in the end zone.
There it is, 5 times for 5 against San Diego, and right into the teeth of the special teams of the Steelers.
Total domination by the Steelers here in this quarter. Of course, the Lions getting their points off the interception when the Steelers had possession of the ball.
Last short drive of 48 yards set up by the excellent kick return. 3:44 to go. They fake the reverse and then screen it, and this should work. They've got blockers out in front of Kevin Smith, and Smith is on the way to the 45-yard line. William Gay at the corner knocked him out of bounds.
Really a great tackle by William Gay. This took a long time to develop, but perfectly executed. A lot of good patience there by Culpepper. Great blocking out in front as well, as Peterman gets out there and throws a key block, as does center Dominic Raiola. How about the tackle? Or Smith may be in the end zone.
23-yard gain. First down at the 44. The draw to Smith, and just for a couple, Brett Kiesel not fooled at all.
To start the game, the Lions only dressed out 4 wide receivers: Bryant Johnson, Calvin Johnson, Dennis Northcutt, and the rookie Derek Williams. Well, Calvin Johnson has a leg injury. His return is doubtful at best. So only 3 wide receivers for Culpepper to work with, and one of them is a rookie who hasn't caught a pass all year, and that's him right there.
What a loss. Calvin Johnson out with that knee. Second and long. The quick throw is complete underneath, and that's Bryant Johnson, not related to Calvin. Make that Dennis Northcutt. Northcutt gets his first catch of the day as he slips underneath, and it's a first down at the Pittsburgh 44. You can see the timeouts above each team's name on our CBS scoreboard. Pointed out to you again after we watched Northcutt pick up the first down. Only his 7th catch of the year. You see above the Pittsburgh 3 little white hash marks, and those will keep you in touch with how many timeouts remain as we draw near the end of the half or end of the game. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning here in Detroit. Here comes the blitz. Culpepper, quick throw is incomplete. Trying to hit his tight end Pettigrew. Well covered, and Culpepper no time. He had to gun that one in a hurry as Deshae Townsend along with James Harrison were coming on almost a full house blitz.
Now Harrison's a house and a half all by himself, and that does speed up the clock for the quarterback. And Deshae Townsend with great coverage as he's filling in for Troy Polamalu in that situation.
Culpepper in the shotgun, calling out the defense, but how do you call this? The Steelers don't settle into an alignment until right at the very end. Here they come again. Culpepper underneath and complete to Pettigrew, rookie from Oklahoma State came into the game with 10 catches, looking for his first touchdown. Lamar Woodley. Saginaw, Michigan, University of Michigan, and back home in the Wolverine State made the play for the Steelers.
This is a huge third down coming up for Detroit. They're just so far today 3 of 6 on third downs, which is pretty good. One of those on Culpepper's long run in the first quarter, but this one critical to keep the drive alive and keep the clock moving and not give Roethlisberger time if Pittsburgh gets the ball back.
It's called a screen, and Culpepper is topped by James Harrison. What a player he has become. Can you believe that he was a free agent out of Kent State, and only because of his fear of flying did he become a Pittsburgh Steeler?
Yeah, did not want to go out and play with the Oakland Raiders. They were interested in him. Did not want to get on an airplane and have those long trips. There's his dad in the stands. That's 2 sacks today for James Jr., the youngest of 14.
Senior there with a white cap. And Harrison said, yeah, I just wanted to stay close to home. I knew I could drive back and forth. I hate to fly. I'm fearful of flying. And so when the Raiders offered me to come out and join them, I said, I want to stay closer to home. So the Steelers benefit from the geography, and here's this free agent who's become such an incredible player. Pro Bowler the last 2 years, Super Bowl hero, and ironically out of the same college that produced the great Jack Lambert.
And that play in the Super Bowl, perhaps one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history, totally turned around the game when it looked like the Cardinals were going to get in the end zone.
So instead of moving into field goal range, the Lions have to give up the ball on the punt with just over a minute remaining, and that's Mewelde Moore with a fair catch inside the 10-yard line. On first down, Big Ben. Mewelde Moore. And he's out across the 15 to the 17-yard line. And the clock is running. Pittsburgh has its 3 timeouts, as you can see.
Really good block on that screen pass by left guard Chris Kamiatu, who shows that he can get out in space and make a block on a defensive back.
Steelers seem in no hurry, and Harrison offside, as charging into the backfield is Andre Fluellen.
False start offense, number 74.
Drawn off.
5-yard penalty.
Willie Colon.
Pittsburgh will call a timeout. That's their second. It's a 30-second timeout.
Avoiding a 10-second runoff. The Steelers used one of those 3 timeouts just to come back to Schwartz. In his first year here, was the defensive coordinator at Tennessee, and 43, graduated from Georgetown, not exactly the rock bed of college and professional coaches, but for nothing. He said, I worked for nothing 100 hours a week in Cleveland with the Browns for Bill Belichick, and those 3 years under Belichick I earned my PhD in football.
And to be around a lot of other great coaches like Kirk Ferentz and Nick Saban, and to be able to listen in and eavesdrop on those coaches' meetings, obviously invaluable for Jim Schwartz.
Second down, 8 with 37 seconds left in the half. 1 timeout left, Pittsburgh. Got a chance to look for something long down the middle. It's complete. Hines Ward with a leaping catch and a first down at the 30-yard line, but the clock is running.
And a long way to go to get into field goal range for Jeff Reed.
Lions deep defense very loose. 1 timeout should they get in field goal range, Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger has it deflected, but it goes right to Heath Miller in the right place at the right time, and he's back to the 39-yard line with 5 seconds to go in the half, and the final timeout ordered by Mike Tomlin. Yeah, with Big Ben's arm, will they crank it up and go for broke on the final play?
Or they'll come out and they'll try one of those multiple lateral type of plays, but how about, when you're good, you're good. When you're lucky and good, these type of things happen. A deflected pass, and Heath Miller is there to pick it off, or pick it up before it's picked off.
Now that could have gone anywhere, but it goes right to a white jersey, just as the Lions had that wonderful opportunity with a ball loose on the ground. Now Mendenhall a fumble on the exchange. With 4 Lions around the ball, somehow it was the Steelers who found the fumble recovery and went on to score a touchdown on that drive. So Roethlisberger not going to take any chances. He takes the kneel. He ends the half 17 for 23, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 1 fatal interception as William James took it back 38 yards for Detroit Lions scores. Now the Lions, who were in Pittsburgh territory looking for a chance to cut into the 8-point Pittsburgh advantage, but the sack drove Detroit back into their own end, and eventually they had to punt, but they do get the ball first, and Culpepper and the offense will have a chance to operate as we start this second half. Jeff Reed to kick it off to rookie Derek Williams.
Lions have done a whole lot better today on their special teams. Williams has gotten them a couple of nice returns, and Jim Schwartz says it's important for everybody on these special teams units to take it personally. Man to man, beat the man opposite you.
And we're ready to go in the second half here in Detroit as Jeff Reed of the Steelers with a kickoff down to rookie Derek Williams, and Williams out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. And they go digging for the ball as Dante Culpepper, Matthew Stafford, again, for those of you joining us, is not expected to play today. He's the 3rd quarterback, knee injury against Chicago a week ago. So Culpepper makes his first start, the veteran former Viking star. And he had a solid first half, but he has thrown every pass under terrific pressure from the Steeler blitzing defense. 2 field goals from 46 yards by Hansen and an interception return for a touchdown by William James. The 13 points for the Lions, who come out with a handoff to Kevin Smith, and Smith into the secondary before Tyrone Carter, replacing Troy Polamalu, makes the tackle.
Hey, you can see the 2 touchdown passes, one to Heath Miller, one to Hines Ward by Roethlisberger. The Steelers again are perfect in the red zone in that first half.
That makes them 8 for the last 8. There's Polamalu, the perennial All-Pro, hoping that he did work out this week, hoping he might return next week. Quick throw is complete to Brian Johnson, and Calvin Johnson, the sterling wide receiver, the 6'5" target for Detroit, was injured in the first half and probably will not return. There's a look at the AFC North standings. The winner of that Cincinnati-Baltimore game will own first place. The Steelers well know they can't afford an upset loss here today, or they'll fall 2 games back of the AFC North frontrunners after just 5 weeks of the season. There's Calvin Johnson, just a brilliant talent, but injured a thigh at Chicago and then seemed to scrape a knee in the first half today. That means that Culpepper has only 3 wide receivers with whom to work: Brian Johnson, Dennis Northcutt, and the rookie Derek Williams. And this one is to his back, Kevin Smith. And on the swing pass, he has the first down at the 41-yard line.
I always like the way that Kevin Smith finishes off plays. He's always diving forward, trying to scrape out an extra yard or 2. He had the first down with a catch, but he wasn't satisfied with that. Picked up a couple of more yards, just diving, selling out.
You know, the key to that now is wearing 2 pairs of socks and wearing them high. That's what gives him that force forward, that little extra weight. Here he goes again. Not much on that attempt.
Better field position in that first half for the Lions that they've had most of the year. A couple of field goals to start the game, and then a couple of punts, and of course the interception by Will James gave him the points.
And a decision with which to ruminate in the first possession. They had a field goal from 46, and on the successful field goal there was an offside Pittsburgh that had been marked off, would have given them a 4th and 1, but they didn't take it. And Culpepper, he takes it again from the rush, and it's James Harrison. He has the trifecta.
You just can't wait. You can't hold the ball against Harrison. He's just relentless. 6 foot, 250 pounds or so, and he just overpowers Jeff Backus. Pushes Backus into the quarterback as well, and Backus outweighs him by 50 pounds, but at 6 foot and 250, he got under Backus, lifted him up, and took him back to the quarterback.
They list him at around 241. He said, that's what I weighed in college. He said he admitted to 255 to us yesterday. Oh, he plays bigger than that. 3rd and long now for Culpepper, and here comes the blitz again. Downfield, and what a catch by Pettigrew. Brandon Pettigrew leaping high, the tight end, and paid the price the #1 pick out of Oklahoma State, and he snares a first down in Steeler territory.
That's probably the best catch of his young career. Watch as he goes up high with his hands over the linebacker. Ferrier, great catch, and he's got a brand new bruise on his back thanks to Ryan Clark right there as he just bends him in half. But the rookie hung on.
For a 19-yard gain and a first down. Thank goodness for that padding those receivers wear in their backside. Kevin Smith into the teeth of the Steeler defense for a yard. In the NFC North standings, the Vikings 4-0, the Bears at 3-1. Detroit behind the Green Bay Packers in a highly contentious division. And wasn't that some game on Monday night? What is it about Brett Favre when the bright lights are on? I mean, he is a neon performer.
He'd be pretty good in the dark, too.
I blindfolded, he beat you.
He's 40 years old. Amazing.
A stunning story that will be replayed in the history books forever. Dancing is Smith, and he fumbled the ball in the process, and the Steelers say no, he does not have it. Able to fall on it as James Ferrier right there to try to rip it away along with Casey Hampton.
You know, Dick, getting back to Favre, people asked me in the preseason, you know, will all this going back and forth, retiring, unretiring, affect Brett Favre's legacy? I said, what, are you kidding? His legacy? He's a Hall of Famer, first ballot, owns all the records, and is still playing top notch at 40 years old with a first place team.
So we're like a kid on Monday night. Okay, 3rd and long, 8 yards for a first down from the Steeler 43. Culpepper gets away from the rush, being trailed from behind, skips out of the tackle, and runs for a first down at the 31-yard line. That was reminiscent of a big play made on the very first possession of the Lions. He scrambled for 32 yards.
And he got away from James Harrison. Harrison coming from the far side of the screen. Watch 92 take a dive and a swipe and can't bring down Culpepper.
Well, he lost 30 pounds to get himself down to 260, Culpepper. I mean, he's like trying to tackle an oversized fullback. From the 31, Culpepper. As time swings it into the flat, flag down, and so is Kevin Smith after a short gain. Tyrone Carter makes the tackle. Big tenor at Minnesota.
Holding, offense number 63. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Manny Ramirez, the 3rd-year guard from Texas Tech, ticketed. Passing leaders today, 199 for Favre, a pick and a touchdown. Look at McNabb. There's another veteran against Still. He's got a live arm.
And Favre and the Vikings with a comfortable lead as well. The Steelers will see the Vikings at home in a couple of weeks.
First down and 20 after the offensive holding penalty. Steelers show a 4-man rush. Culpepper looking downfield and throws incomplete to Kevin Smith. Smith should have had that one.
Yeah, he should have. That's the difference between a team that has got 6 Super Bowl trophies and a team that's lost a whole bunch of games. There he is right here, finding an opening here behind Lawrence Timmons. And Culpepper on the run throws a perfect pass. It's Lawrence Timmons, number 94, on the coverage.
Smith in his 2nd year had a fine rookie season for the Lions. Led them in rushing just under 1,000 yards. Draw. And heard the whistle on the play, and maybe from the stands. William Gay came up to make the tackle of Smith. A yard gain, that's it.
Right now the Lions are looking to get into field goal range. Tough to pick up a first down here. 3rd and 18. But give me 10 yards. That'll put Hansen well within his range.
Linehan, the former Rams head coach, now the coordinator here in Detroit. Worked with Culpepper 3 years when he was quarterbacking the Vikings. Culpepper to the sideline, and it's complete to Bryant Johnson, nearly 10 yards on that pickup, and you've got one of the best long-range kickers in NFL history in Jason Hanson, who comes onto the field. He has 41 career field goals from 50 or farther back. No one close to that.
Well, this will be his 504th career attempt.
And it will be for 49 yards. So easy pickings usually for Hanson inside the 50, and he's just as tough outside. Hunter with Harris's hold. And it is no good this time. He misses to the right. With our producer Bob Monsbach, our director Suzanne Smith, Dick Enberg, and Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. Ford Field under the cover here in downtown Detroit. Steelers get their first chance here in the second half, owning a 21-13 lead. In Pittsburgh, 2 road games and 2 tough second half defeats. Handoff is to Rashard Mendenhall for the injured Willie Parker. Mendenhall had a big first half. Short yardage on his first carry, and there's the just miss to the right, to the dismay of the kicker Hanson. His first miss of the year, 10 tries, and his coach, body language didn't help, and some in the audience know exactly what's going to happen.
Miss it? Yep.
To the right.
It. Yep. Had it all the way.
Those quarterbacks don't miss it.
He missed that one there too.
Second down and 9. Big Ben to throw underneath, and he's got an easy catch to Hines Ward, and Ward toppled after a gain of about 7. Larry Foote makes the tackle.
So tough playing defense against a quarterback like Roethlisberger. Gunther Cunningham, longtime defensive coordinator in the NFL, former Kansas City head coach, deciding to go with a zone there on second down and long. He's been burned by the blitz by Roethlisberger in the first half.
3rd and 2.5 for the Steelers, and Roethlisberger in the shotgun with Linus Sweet in the game on the near side. Mewaldy Moore in the backfield with him. Roethlisberger, plenty of time, comes underneath, complete to Moore. Moore has the first down and more to the 46-yard line of the Lions. On first down, going for 6. Roethlisberger wide open. It's Mike Wallace for a touchdown. The speedy rookie Wallace, who dropped a sure score in the first half, was waiting for that one behind William James and Marquand Manuel.
And William James never located the ball. It appeared they could have made a play on this ball as it was underthrown to the speedy Mike Wallace, who runs a 4.28 40. But Wallace did not get disturbed by James flying by, kept his eye on the ball, and got his first NFL touchdown. Good job, young man, bouncing back.
And he can celebrate his first National Football League touchdown. Wallace, who adds another dimension to this very powerful Pittsburgh offense. Jeff Reed adds the extra point.
Back at Ford Field, our score 28-13 Steelers. Take a look at these two men. That is the rookie, Mike Wallace. That is Will James right here. Roethlisberger, after the play fake, is going to just fire this one as far as he can. Way behind the secondary is Wallace, but James never locates the ball. The ball will go right by him, and his outstretched arms, touchdown Pittsburgh. James looks back, cannot believe that it's a touchdown.
And Ed Wallace showing his hydra, and doesn't make it to the 20-yard line. From the 19, Kevin Smith. No, it's a Maurice Morris in to spell Smith, and Morris, the veteran, back out of Oregon. Morris stays in on second down and a long 5 flag, and a procedure against Culpepper and the Lions. He thought it was the other way around.
False start, offense, number 84, 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Rookie tight end Pettigrew a bit too eager. 5.5 to go here in the third quarter. First-year coach Jim Schwartz, the son of a Baltimore policeman. Big family, grew up in a family of 9, second oldest. Went into Georgetown, thought he'd go to Wall Street. Fell in love with football. He was a small college linebacker at Georgetown with the Hoyas. 2nd and 10. Culpepper down at the feet of Pettigrew, incomplete. He was well covered by Tyrone. Make that William Gay.
A little bit of hesitation on the part of Dante Culpepper on that throw. Apparently the wide receiver, or the tight end Pettigrew, did not have his head turned around, and by the time he did, he looked down at his feet, and you can see the beat goes on for Big Ben, completing almost everything he throws. Culpepper having a solid afternoon, but he's going to have to lead his Lions right now with the #1 wide receiver out and the quarterback Matthew Stafford watching from the sidelines.
3rd and 10. The pressure and then the screen, and this one could work. It's to Will Heller, the tight end, and Heller speeds it up across the 35 and a first down around the 37, and the never quit James Harrison, trailing the play, makes the tackle.
Great call by Scott Linehan, offensive coordinator. The blitz was on, especially, and it was on from that side of the field. There's the tackle by Harrison. Again, you're looking at how he's trying to strip the ball out of the arms of Heller. That's a big conversion there for the Lions.
Heller's first catch today. Seattle Seahawks. On the 35, the handoff to Smith.
Go, Kenny, go.
Tough to dance against this Steeler defense and get big yardage. He picked up 4. Homer, Central Florida ace. Kevin Smith gets the call on 2nd down. He's shy of the first down by 2.
You know, it's amazing what happens when a player kind of hits rock bottom, as Cedric Benson did with the Chicago Bears. Was picked up mid-season last year by the Bengals, went on to lead them in rushing yardage, over 700 yards, and now he's looking like that #1 draft pick out of the University of Texas. That is an accomplishment against that Raven defense.
You saw Casey Hampton, the 325-pound nose tackle. He made that last stop, 4-time Pro Bowler, last 3 years consecutively. 3rd and 2. Culpepper gets away from the rush. Finally throws, and the completion on the sidelines to Dennis Northcutt, and that'll be good for a first down. He was tempted to run, wasn't he?
Well, he had the change in the marker right in his sideline, but also right behind the chain marker was Northcutt on the sidelines. Right there, he picks up what he needs. Now right there, he sees Northcutt, and a super catch, keeping both feet in and picking up the first down. Lions now 8 of 13, converting 3rd downs.
It's a solid mark against the Steeler defense. On first down from the 49, Culpepper going long. And incomplete, overthrown, no flag. Johnson was the target, Gay the defender.
This man, young man, has a lot of talent.
And he is young, the 2nd youngest quarterback to start a season opener in the NFL since 1950. Big hole for Kevin Smith, and he powers his way close to a first down inside the 40-yard line of the Steelers. Deshae Townsend made the stop. Stafford started, as most rookies would, with a lot of trouble, but he was picking up steam as he headed to Chicago.
You know what I've been so impressed with are just his mechanics in the pocket. Everybody knows he's got a cannon for an arm. They bring out the chains to see if Smith picked up the first down, but there's no wasted motion in his throwing motion. First down, Lions.
Tickled the yardstick there. Smith picks up the first down inside the 39. You know, it's so tough when you look through the history of this league, of the draft, and the #1 player, a quarterback picked, and going to a team that is not good. You think of Archie Manning going to New Orleans and how he suffered, what a great player he was. Jim Plunkett at New England when the Patriots were well down, and finally he survived his hopes with the Raiders. Back to Smith for a couple of yards, and Stafford, though, is coming to a team that had lost 19 in a row until the Redskin victory here a couple of weeks ago. But they are rebuilding here, and they brought in a lot of talent that's going to get better here in Detroit.
Well, if you have a receiver like Calvin Johnson, that makes all your receivers better because he draws extra coverage that leaves man-to-man on the other parts of the field. They bring in Pettigrew as a rookie tight end. I think he's got a lot of talent. And if this offensive line can continue to give Stafford and today Culpepper protection, this team is in a lot better shape than they were a year ago.
Culpepper was running out of time. Culpepper and the Lions at the 36 of Pittsburgh. He's going for the end zone. And incomplete to Brian Johnson. He was paired up with a couple of tough defenders. Deshae Townsend right there with him. And safety help coming over as well.
You know, it might have been double coverage, but I still like the attempt. I mean, if Johnson can come down with this, they're all heroes. Ball thrown 2 inches too far for the pink gloves of Brian Johnson, but I like the attitude and the attack mode of the Lions right there.
Mike Taylor came over to help out. Third down now for the home team, and 7 yards needed for the first down. The handoff is inside to Jerome Felton, and Felton is the surprise back for the Lions today. He caught a big pass in the first half, and that one went for big yardage, and now he gets the first down on a little draw.
Yeah, who would have thought, right behind the block of Stephen Peterman as he comes out with the catalog there and gets Felton the first down.
He gets maybe a touch a game and had a 27-yard pass play completion in the first half, and there's a solid run for a first down for Felton out of Furman University. 12th play of the drive for Detroit. We're down to the final minute of the third. Fumble by Culpepper, able to pick it up. Can he get rid of it? Throws it over in the flat, and that's an interception by Ryan Clark. That was a gimme for Clark. Oh my, that is not a veteran's play. So Ryan Clark just camped out in the flat with an easy interception of Culpepper trying to throw it away. And Pittsburgh back in possession at the 22. Mendenhall into a crowd of Honolulu blue and silver. No gain. From the 21, Ben Roethlisberger is 10 for 10 since that interception that went for a touchdown in the second quarter. 10 for 10, 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. 3 touchdown passes for Big Ben today. Thompson and throws underneath, complete. Finds Ward circling underneath the coverage, and he's right at the yardsticks for a possible first down. Check the penalty flag.
Flag thrown at the line of scrimmage. Appears to be Detroit offside.
Offside, defense, number 98. The penalty is declined. The play results in a first down.
Back on first down to Mendenhall, skipping over 2 movers, sets of tackles, and finally driving his way right out to close to another first down. Look for a moment, he's going to lose the football, and William James finally brings him to the artificial turf.
Not many 10-yard runs or highlight reels. This one should make it. There he makes one miss there, trips over his own man, gets inside a couple of Lions, and picks up a first down. That's a heck of an effort by Rashard Mendenhall.
It reminds me of a fellow they called the bus that migrated out of Detroit to Notre Dame and then on by way of the Rams to Pittsburgh, Jerome Bettis. And he used to run right through tackles like that. Any of the Steelers, oops, that's going to be a jump start.
You know who it reminded me of?
5-yard penalty, first down.
Another number 34, Walter Payton, spinning and breaking tackles,
good
punishing
call.
tacklers.
Good call.
About the same size too.
Walter was a bigger man than many figured, and Mendenhall at 5'10" doesn't look big, but he's carrying 225 on that muscular frame, and he can dance too. He said that that hip hop is something, but the stepping, the Chicago step and the two-step is something that should get him some national fame. Caught in the backfield and nothing there. A Jersey tackle as he's thrown down by Averill, Cliff Averill, the defensive end from Purdue.
Yeah, Averill was his dance partner on this play. He had a good grip on him here. Way outside of the tackle, Willie Colon.
Yeah, who's doing the leading here?
Averill was. Leading him right down on the ground.
Well, that presents a 2nd and 20, a big loss for the Steelers, a rare negative for them on the day offensively. A quick toss out to the speedy Wallace. Wallace bumped out of bounds quickly. Coming over to make the tackle, Marquand Manuel, the 8-year veteran from Florida.
Well, remember Mike Tomlin talking about Wallace, and you mentioned it in the first half, Dick, about how even keel he has been as a rookie. And he's really shown that today. I mean, he had the tremendous disappointment of dropping a potential touchdown pass, and he came back to catch one here at the start of the third quarter. So good bounce back and good example of what an even-keeled young man he is.
Lions fans recognizing how big this 3rd and 15 is. They want the defense to hold. Roethlisberger, the pump, under pressure, and they've got him for a sack for the first time today. And it was Copeland Bryan with his first NFL sack, the second-year man from Arizona.
Now Gunther Cunningham's going to bring the corner blitz. William James, who has that touchdown for an interception, number 41, is coming on the blitz. He gets picked up, but just there's nobody in the secondary open. Good job at the back end of that coverage by the Lions to get that sack.
Sepulveda's second punt of the day. Dennis Northcutt fields inside the 20, gets a block, and is out to the 27-yard line. Lawrence Timmons, 94, on special teams, collided with Andre Frazier, and the two Steelers up slowly. Frazier seemed to be in more pain. There he is.
A lot of violent collisions, and a lot of times you're hitting your own guy trying to make a tackle. Good to see them both up and off the field.
So that interception by Culpepper doesn't cost the Lions points, but did cost time, and Kevin Smith on first down straight ahead, and a flag flies as he crosses the 30-yard line. Kurski and Harrison teamed up on the stop.
That's our umpire, Chad Brown. It says had a busy day with Ed Hockley.
Offense number 51, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Setter Dominic Raiola. Timmons is back in the game, so he was just bumped around. He's okay. He is in the middle. They say he can cover sideline to sideline as well as any linebacker around. Handoff inside to Smith. And holding penalty. That doesn't make much. Brett Kiesel and Harrison again in on the play. Oh, Harrison, just write his name into Honolulu right now. I mean, in 5 games of this season, Harrison has offered evidence that he's just as good or better than any linebacker in the league.
Scott Linehan might want to go for a headset that's got muffs on both ears so he can't hear the boos after that draw play on first down and a mile. Gets nothing.
Oh, they got a yard. Second and 10. Pass is complete out to the 20. Jerome Felton, but he's hit immediately by Timmons. 5 possessions in Pittsburgh territory for the offense, but only a couple of field goals, and that one misfires to the rookie Derek Williams as they weren't in sync on that pass and the quick out. And that's Matthew Stafford, is learning on the sidelines, knows the plays obviously, and thinking through what he sees defensively and trying to improve, even though that knee injury keeps him out of action today.
Well, and that's why the injury to Calvin Johnson in the first half is so critical. Lions choosing to go only with 4 wide receivers this afternoon. You take out the great Johnson, that leaves you with the rookie Derek Williams, Brian Johnson, and Dennis Northcutt. And obviously the rookie's not on the same page with the quarterback, as Culpepper had the ball there, but Williams didn't turn around quickly enough.
Nick Harris to Stephon Logan at the 35-40, and the quick step of Logan. 5'6" and lightning fast. The GM Tower appropriately symbolic here in Michigan's economy, hitting the state as hard as any in the country, but the folks around here are tough and they stand tall. And, you get the feeling of the spirit that the recovery may well just begin. We're calling this game in the Detroit area. And here's a recovery as the Lions without a sack all day, and now they put them back to back as Cliff Averill and Andre Fluellen team up to drop Roethlisberger.
It looks like the Steelers are trying to put the game away with one play. This is twice now that Roethlisberger has had max protection trying to go deep and just not have anything in the secondary, and then the coverage pressure, Averill and company bringing him down. Another sack.
9 yards lost on the play. So to the shotgun. And the Steelers spread it out. Roethlisberger with a quick throw underneath the Hines Ward, and he's tackled immediately at the 45-yard line, a gain of about 6. Calvin Pearson, 5-year defender from Grambling, made the stop. 13 for 13 now for Roethlisberger since he threw the interception for a touchdown to William James. There's Larry Foote. You've got to admire this young guy. He feels that it's important to give back, especially to potentially troubled youth. We'll finish the story after this play on 3rd down and 14. Brings some pressure from the outside, but Roethlisberger gets away for a moment, and then he's tracked down by the veteran Julian Peterson.
First sack of the year for Peterson, and he really earned it. He tried to get around the corner and get Roethlisberger down by the shirt tail. Watch from the right side of the screen. Peterson with the left hand can't bring him down there, but he stays after him, dives and makes the tackle. That's why Julian Peterson is going to be so important for this franchise. Effort plays like that one.
5 times a Pro Bowler. Here's the kick by Sepulveda that bounces to Northcutt. As he returns out to about the 18-yard line. Back in Detroit as a young man growing up a farm nearby, the voice of the Lions, Van Patrick, voice of the Tigers, Ernie Harwell. And you can't come to the city without memories of 2 of the great sports voices of all time. We wish Ernie well. What a great friend and tremendous influence in this entire state. Pass is underneath and incomplete. Matthew Stafford, the #1 player picked in the draft out of Georgia. Calvin Johnson, #1 pick 3 years ago from Georgia Tech, and both on the sidelines. 2 great weapons. Culpepper is going long down the sidelines for Brian Johnson, too tall, and it's a flag thrown by the back judge. Derek Williams was the receiver intended on the deep pattern, and Ike Taylor with the coverage.
They're probably going to get him for the arm bar call. The ball was clearly not catchable.
Defense, number 24. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul, 1st down.
And the thousands of Steeler fans here at Ford Field did not like that call.
Well, with Calvin Johnson out of the game, Ike Taylor goes over to the other Johnson. In fact, this is Derek Williams. There's that left arm. That's the arm bar that keeps Williams from getting down the field. I'm not so sure that's a good call. That ball was totally uncatchable. Eye bar or arm bar.
Technology is ruining our life, isn't it? There's a throw underneath to Kevin Smith. He spins inside the 50 to the 49 in the grasp of Deshae Townsend. It's been safety by committee with Troy Polamalu out. Mike Tomlin indicating that Deshae Townsend, along with Tyrone Carter and Kewan Ratliff, would share responsibilities. You said Polamalu ought to get a raise. Takes 3 guys to replace him. 2nd down and 4. Culpepper. Oh, he throws to the tight end Pettigrew, not looking, and Woodley came close to an interception. There's the flag again. Maurice Morris trying to help Culpepper might have been guilty.
Offense number 28.
Yep.
10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Sometimes that isn't a bad penalty if you're protecting your quarterback from taking a brutal hit.
Well, the Steelers can bring so much pressure. They're so quick up front. Number 28 is Morris, and he's got a block on one of these linebackers. That's Timmons, and he just grabs him around the throat there. Culpepper lucky that Woodley didn't pick that one off.
2nd and 14 for the Lions here in the 4th quarter, midpoint, trailing the Steelers by 15. Culpepper finds an open man underneath, and it's Dennis Northcutt hurdling his way back to midfield, where it'll be 3rd down and 5 for Detroit.
A lot of differences between these 2 teams, but with Pittsburgh defensively, they don't miss tackles. Lions get men in the open field, in space. They're making moves. Steelers come up, bring them down.
Shotgun 3rd and 5. This is a critical time for the Lions. They need to extend the drive, and here come the Steelers. Culpepper steps away, throws underneath. It's going to be close for a 1st down. Northcutt with a catch right at the yard line. Ferrier made the stop. It looks like a good spot. the yellow line on the screen, and the ball perched right on the Pittsburgh end of it. First down, Lions.
Just the small things that a receiver will do to bail out his team, and that was a small thing that turned into be a huge thing, just diving forward at the last minute to get that first down.
So with 6 minutes left in this fourth quarter, Culpepper throws again underneath, complete to Felton, and the fullback is blasted by Lawrence Timmons. He's quite a story, Felton. At Madisonville, Tennessee is high school, and actually before high school, in the 7th grade, he took the ACTs and scored high enough that he took college classes before high school.
And he's playing fullback in the National Football League.
That doesn't figure, does it? Culpepper dumps it off. A one-handed catch by Kevin Smith. What a play at the 30. Straight arms to the 25 and a Lion first down. Ryan Clark with the stop.
Really a great catch and another great tackle as Clark brings down Smith. It looked like Smith really had something going there. This is a good drive for the Lions. They got to get in the end zone here and then hope for a small miracle and a two-pointer to tie this one up.
Steelers are going to call a timeout here, or is it the Lions? 5 minutes to go. Lions need a score to make it interesting. Culpepper goes to the end zone. Touchdown, Dennis Northcutt. Northcutt with his first score of the season, his 18th in his career.
Yeah, it was against the double coverage, the two deep zone of the Steelers, and Northcutt just staying alive, and Culpepper getting that extra second and a half to find him right down the middle. Huge play for the Lions.
It's a long drive, 82 yards, 25 yards on the touchdown to Northcutt. They go for one. Hansen delivers, and the Steelers lead is sliced to 28-20.
Here's Northcutt in the slot, and he's going to split the two deep safeties. Number 86 on the post route as he gets behind Kewan Ratliff there. Perfect throw by Culpepper. Touchdown Lions, and Culpepper with his first touchdown of the season. But he's done it before. It's a number 147 for the former three-time Pro Bowler. Immediately goes to the sidelines to tell him to just go for one here. Now they'll try for the onside kick perhaps, or probably better to kick the ball deep to the Steelers here, Dick, because the Lions defense the last two times out have done a good job sacking Roethlisberger and keeping Mendenhall from getting loose.
That's quite a drive, 82 yards in 7 plays engineered by Culpepper, and the touchdown 25 yards to Northcutt. You see here on our CBS scoreboard, top of your screen, above Detroit and above Pittsburgh, there's the little hash marks indicating the timeouts remaining, so you can follow that along, each with 2, and 4:57 to go.
And you go back to that first quarter when the decision to go for the field goal by Jim Schwartz instead of perhaps going for it on 4th down if they took the penalty. And then how about Jason Hansen's missed field goal later on in that first half? Missed chances by the Lions, perhaps.
Stefan Logan at the other end of Hansen's kickoff. And this young man who's finally made it to the NFL at age 28 by way of CFL goes down at the 19-yard line. Big tackle by DeAndre Levy, the rookie from Wisconsin. They like him. Roethlisberger, we're working on a string of 13 consecutive completions. That's 2 under the Steeler all-time record that he shares with Bubby Brister. Stays on the ground. Big hole for Richard Mendenhall. And Mendenhall storms forward for a good pickup. Louis Delmas makes the tackle.
That's the danger on defense when you're trying to force the issue with pressure. Lions were blitzing that time, and Mendenhall became within a whisker of breaking that blitz and going the distance. He did pick up a good gain of 7-8 yards on the play.
Gives him 79 yards, Dan, for the game after his big performance of 165 yards against the Chargers and a couple of touchdowns last Sunday night.
Not many yards, though, here in the second half for Mendenhall.
Second and 2. Right back to Mendenhall. Hit in the backfield and dropped at the 25. A loss of a yard. Charging into that backfield was Larry Foote, the ex-Steeler. We started to tell you about Foote earlier today. As here's a man that feels dedicated to giving back to young kids that aren't born to be bad. They need direction, especially from a man. They learn the bad from the streets. Every time he talks to kids, he said, examine your friends. Are they living successful lives? If they're not, you take a different direction. Well, he had the right direction there to stuff the run. Crowd into it, 3rd down and 4.
Just 3 of 7 converting 3rd downs for the Steelers this afternoon.
Here comes the blitz, and the quick throw. Is it a catch? Scooped up right off the grass. Yes, by Mike Wallace. Now they ruled incomplete. Philip Buchanan on the coverage.
First official came in and said this was a catch. No, not a catch at all. The amazing thing to me is that the official behind the play came in and said it was incomplete.
That's a huge call. No argument from Tomlin. It was right in front of the Steelers head coach.
Clearly the ball hits the turf.
Hands apart. They'll give you some lenience if your hands and arms are together. So Dennis Northcutt back to field Daniel Sepulveda's punt. Here comes the left footer's kick. Good high boot. Northcutt at his 25. And upfield at the 29-yard line. And well covered once again by Bailey. Good special teamer. Well, Culpepper and the Lions are within a touchdown and 2-point conversion of a tie with 3:07 to go.
What a solid play by Northcutt on that return. Just making the catch number 1 and then getting positive yards. Ball at the 29-yard line. You can see what the Lions need. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie this up.
The Bears and the Bengals able to score from behind in the 4th quarter. Pull out victories against the Steelers. Can the Lions, heavy underdogs, do it today? Culpepper over the middle, complete to Williams. Derek Williams, a nice catch in traffic by the rookie from Penn State. Ryan Clark down after the play. Clock stopped at the 2:57 mark.
Boy, the Steelers can't afford an injury to another safety with Polamalu out. And the hard-hitting Ryan Clark now in pain at the 48-yard line. Catch by Derek Williams and the hit by number 25, Ryan Clark. Watch his head come in here. That's always a scary play for both receiver and defensive back. And Clark is up and on the sidelines being checked out by the training staff and Troy Polamalu. Polamalu does everything.
Doesn't he? And wobbly was Clark leaving the field. So 2 star safeties on the sidelines at the moment for the Steelers. First down for the Lions, trailing by 8. 2:41 to go. Culpepper to the sidelines. A catch at the 34-yard line by Williams again. Derek Williams, who came into this game without a catch, makes a couple of outstanding plays in this series.
And he gets both feet in at the end of the catch. Watch the footwork of number 12. Beautiful.
Paterno pupil showing that he can get A grades at a higher level. 19 on that play. First down at the 34. Plenty of time. Each team 2 timeouts.
Where's the Steeler pass rush?
They come with a blitz, and Culpepper's in trouble now. There it is. His receivers covered, and Lamar Woodley finally battling through the offensive line to record his first sack of the season.
You know, that may seem like a bad deal, but it's better than throwing it up for grabs. You still have possession. You still have 3 downs to go because you're going to go for it on 4th down. So that sack is not that big a deal. You lose a few yards, but you still have possession. You still have a shot.
4th sack for the Steelers. That was a coverage sack. Culpepper had time, but just nobody open. Approaching the 2-minute warning. Second down and long. Culpepper deep down the middle. Incomplete. Oh, he's trying to thread that one into Dennis Northcutt between three Steelers.
And that was the route that they scored the touchdown on last time, the last possession. But this time, Kewan Ratliff did a great job of staying with Northcutt on the post route. There's the sack on the previous play.
Two minutes and a second. So one play before the 2-minute timeout. With 3rd and 19 staring at Culpepper, and the Steelers digging in. How many will they bring? 6. Culpepper throws deep down the middle, and it is caught for a first down by Northcutt. Northcutt and Williams, 2 backup receivers, carrying the Lions deep toward the Steeler goal line. Roethlisberger and the Steelers kept on the sidelines. Their offense, as Jim Schwartz's offense, led by the veteran Dante Culpepper, proving there's plenty left in this former Pro Bowler's game. Has led the Lions back here in the 4th quarter. 1 touchdown on a long drive, and now a first down at the Steeler 21-yard line, trailing by 8. 1:54 to go. Here comes the blitz from the right side, and down goes Culpepper. Lamar Woodley with his 2nd sack. The former Michigan star from upstate in Saginaw records the 5th sack of the game for the Steelers. William Gay came in from that same side.
But again, it's a sack on first down. Really doesn't hurt you. Plenty of time. 2 timeouts for Detroit.
They're loading up the line of scrimmage again, the Steelers. Here they come again from the same side, and it works again. This time it's William Gay. Gay set up Woodley on the first occasion, and he gets a sack himself. His first of the season on that play.
That's why Dick LeBeau is considered the best defensive coordinator in the National Football League. This is his first sack on first down coming up here, and it's Woodley and also Gay coming from the same side. So what you do is you make the adjustment as a blocking back. Kevin Smith takes the linebacker, leaves the defensive back for Culpepper to try to make miss. That's just out scheming your opponent, and that's why Dick LeBeau is probably going to be elected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame real soon. Just not only as a player, and he was a great player for the Detroit Lions, but why not as a defensive coordinator?
Both ways he qualifies, doesn't he? 62 interceptions, the all-time record for the Lions in a 14-year career here in Detroit. Now 3rd down and 21, back to the 32-yard line. And the Lions down to 1 timeout.
You really only need about 10 or 15 yards to give yourself a good shot on 4th down.
Here comes pressure up the middle this time, and down goes Culpepper. 3 consecutive sacks by the Steelers. Lawrence Timmons gets that one.
And now all they can do is call timeout and decide how far can Culpepper throw the ball. He can reach the end zone, but you're right, Dick, that pressure coming. But the Lion pass routes were all deep routes trying to pick up the first down. They weren't trying to get to the 10 yards or so, but look at this pressure coming.
He's got the tight end in there, Heller, to help block, but even then, it's just a dam break. And up the middle is Timmons to join the sack party, the 7th of the game for the Steelers, but back to back here with the Lions threatening to possibly tie the game.
Well, the Lions were on the 21-yard line. And now it's 4th and 34.
Oh, come on, Dan Fouts, as a Hall of Famer, you'd have a play for this.
Yeah, you just heave it as far as you can. And as it's in the air, you get out the rosary beads and you say a novena or 2.
Yeah, the Steelers will back off their safeties as deep as one might expect, way inside the 20. And here comes what might be the final breath for the Lions as Culpepper to the end zone. And here comes a jump ball. Incomplete, or is it intercepted? It's Ike Taylor. Taylor had his hands on it and bats it away.
You know, and the other problem for the Lions with Calvin Johnson at 6'5" out of the game, their leaper is out. Brian Johnson 6'3", but Northcutt 5'11", and Derek Williams just 5'11". They're just
not enough height for the Lions to even. Nobody even gets off the ground in a blue jersey.
Boy, look at the
They're
effort
all
by
looking for
Taylor.
the tips.
Boy, Taylor, is that some move?
Ike Taylor just soaring over the crowd to knock it away.
Isn't it hard to believe that in college, Taylor at Louisiana Lafayette, as a freshman and sophomore, was playing flag football, intramural football, wasn't even on the team. And he goes out as a junior, and he winds up being a star in the NFL. Well, Culpepper gave the Lions true hope today. This veteran gets high marks for his effort. Eventually, the Steeler defense and the true toughness of the pass rush of the Pittsburgh team spells the difference in a hard-earned victory for the men from Western Pennsylvania. And Stafford over to congratulate the veteran Culpepper on a solid game. But the Steelers having trouble wrapping up things in the fourth quarter. 2 losses and then the game against San Diego. And now the Bengals are the AFC North leaders. They have defeated Baltimore. And there is one of the true surprise stories of the NFL season. The Steelers moved to 3-2, 1 game out of first place. Back-to-back wins for Pittsburgh for the first time this year, and the first road win of the year. 28-20